Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. Okay, so this subject is going to be about fear and love and why those two words, not only why they're so important, but what everything is about. It comes down to these two words, and I mean everything we're going through right now on the planet. Every religion, from Buddhism to spiritual teachings, Christianity, the teachings of Jesus, every religion, every spiritual teaching that I've come across, there is one core central theme. Now, here's what's going on. In order for narcissists to keep controlling the planet, they have to keep us, or enough of us, in a state of fear. Now here's why. Okay, so as I've talked in the past, there's an artery in the lower reptilian brain. This is the eye of the needle that the Bible talks about. It opens you up to the Holy Grail, which is your right brain. If the majority of people, or not, it's not even the majority, if we can get enough percentage of people to open up this artery that's controlled by the lower reptilian brain, then enough people will be conscious. And what happens is, it's like a lot of people say, it's like you're pulling the veil back, and all of a sudden you're seeing what's really going on. And this is the nightmare for the narcissist community. Now here's one thing I don't think you guys understand. Narcissists literally have a worldwide community. A narcissist can walk downtown and another narcissist can recognize another narcissist, and they also have a ranking system like the military, okay? So I remember one time I was with someone hanging out, and all of a sudden this other person just kind of walked up. Neither one of us knew this person. So without going into too much detail, essentially the guy, it was like he outranked this friend I was with, and I'm not going to cuss because I want to cuss because that's what I did. And because he kind of just took over and like, no, I don't know who you are, but this is just weird. And so it was a little more intense than that. But I've seen this happen a few times with a couple different people that I now, as I look back, like they were narcissists, but these other narcissists would come up and just outrank them, and they would, like, just like in the military, they would like fall in line. And I was like, well, what the hell is this? You may have seen other videos on YouTube where they talk about how narcissists have a ranking system. So a narcissist could fly to another state. They could even go to another country. Narcissists can recognize each other. Alright, so my purpose for sharing that with you is to help you understand there's an overall worldwide system in place that's being run by narcissists. So a lot of you think that the good people were running the system. No, they're not. They never have. And I'm sorry to say, but part of that system is the religion/church system. Okay, I don't remember what verse this is, but I'm 90% sure it was in the book of Revelation. Oh yeah, you'd have to look this up. You'd have to have one of the dictionaries, so I might actually have to look it up later. So in the book of Revelation, it talks about the two little horns, and I thought, okay, what are the two little horns? So I looked at the number. Again, I have right here, it's a Hebrew Greek Key Study Bible it's a New James or King James version with a Strong's Dictionary Word Studies Concordance. And so it has numbers on it, so I can look in the back and look for the dictionary for either the Old Testament or the New Testament, and I can look up what that means, okay, that word. So the two little horns, one represents the church and the other one represents the government. The church and the government together control the masses. So I'm going to let you decide what that means. I didn't like it when I read it. So the way that people are controlled, the way they've always been controlled, if you just look back in history, like, wow, that was pretty harsh. Well, it's always been harsh. It's harsh. They're doing the same thing right now. The reason why they start wars and have all these horrible things happen is to keep people in a state of fear and panic. Why? In order to control people, you have to make sure that they don't see what's going on. Now, I do believe there's a much better system that we're emerging into right now. So it's really simple. It's the same thing I've brought up many times, is when you're in a state of fear, that artery in your lower reptilian brain, it closes down, it narrows, okay? So now you have very little fuel or blood to go up into the brain, so thus you're only operating off of the lower reptilian brain, okay? All right, have you ever heard that humans, like something like 90% of people are in the rat race? That's literally what it means. That artery is narrow, you're in a constant state of confusion, doubt, fear, etc., etc. And that's why gaslighting is so effective. This is why the government will do something and then say the complete opposite. So your eyes are seeing one thing, your ears are hearing it, and you're seeing it, and you're going, okay, well, this is what I'm seeing. But then the government or whoever says, oh, well, that's not what you're seeing, just ignore that, or that's not true, or that never happened. Even now when we have it recorded, and a lot of people are still in denial. It's like, well, dude, just like play the video back. I mean, that's live. They'll either turn it off, walk away, say, I don't want to see that, because in their mind, they just believe what they're being told, regardless of what they're actually experiencing physically in reality. Okay, let me slow down just a little bit. Okay, I'm trying to push this too hard. It's really simple. It is absolutely simple. Okay? When that artery opens up, now a lot of blood flows up into the larger human brain. This is very, very important to understand what's going on, okay? Because this is what it is all about. This is what the book of Genesis was talking about with the original sin. Sin literally means to close off from. So when you narrow the artery, you literally closed off from your right brain. Your right brain is the consciousness brain. That's the brain that sees the bigger picture. That's the brain that can put the pieces of the puzzle together and go, oh, I see what's going on. They don't want you to see what's going on, even when you literally see what's going on. If they can get you out of your right brain, you can't put the pieces together. This is why it is important to keep the entire planet in a state of fear. Because it closes the artery and thus it blocks you from your right brain, which is the brain of consciousness that sees what's going on. So essentially what's happening on the planet right now is narcissists are trying to put people in a state of fear, because people are waking up and narcissists are freaking out en masse. Like, well, we can't let this happen, because if enough people see what's really going on, they're going to take over and they're going to basically take them out of position of power and say, yeah, this isn't going to happen no more. Because we are the majority. I don't necessarily mean just empaths, but just the majority of people. The majority of people are good people. They're just blind. So I remember, I don't know, 2.5 years ago or 3 years ago when they started doing, you got to wear your mask, and people were just in full-blown panic. And now with me, people were like, doesn't this bother you? I'm like, no. I mean, why would it bother me? Aren't you afraid? No. Because I had a basic understanding of science. I mean, I paid attention in high school. I paid attention in college. I paid attention when they were explaining it to us in the military about how biology, about how, I'm not going to go into detail on this, but how things work. So I'm like, yeah, they're just lying to us. I mean, you can Google it right now. I can prove. Let me take you to your local high school or teacher or college professor. They'll break this down for you. I mean, what they're saying is lies. So why would I be afraid? So the other side is I've done a lot of healing work, emotional healing work, a lot of energy healing work. And on top of that, I'm a very emotionally grounded guy, because I do literal physical techniques to ground myself. So it didn't bother me. And I remember the first time I went to the grocery store during the whole panic, like when it first kicked in. And so I don't know, it was about a week into it, maybe 2 weeks into it, I don't remember. And I was like, la la la, just walking in, boom. And the minute I walked into the grocery store, it was like zap, something like zap me. I was like, whoa, what the fuck is this? It was like there was this electrical grid, like squares, about mid-height, about your solar plexus area height. And it expanded across the entire inside the store. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck is, like, it's like, it was one of those moments when I was absolutely conscious of this energy field. I was like, what the hell is this? Now, I had done some stretching, deep breathing for about an hour, and then I had meditated for about another 30 minutes on top of this. So when I walked in, I was just really grounded. I walked in, and, and it was like, boom, like it caught me off guard. I was like, wait, what is this? And I looked around at people, and everyone was like in this panic state, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck's going on here? Like, whoa, what's going, like, okay, I'll give you an example. So after about a month of this, maybe a little bit more, I finally requested, I said, for the manager, I said, I want to talk to the manager. So the manager goes, can I help you, sir? I'm like, I go, yeah, I got a kind of a really weird question. I'm not trying to be rude. I go, but what is the deal with the toilet paper? Like, did they shut down the factories that are making toilet paper? Like, are suddenly like the trees gone? Is something? He goes, no. He goes, it's the weirdest thing in the world. He goes, we're getting the exact same amount in shipments every week like we normally do. He goes, nothing is slowed down. I go, are you sure? I go, what about the meat factories? Are they like shutting down? He goes, no. He goes, they're sending the same amount of meat they've sent us for years, for decades. He goes, nothing's changed. I go, so why is everyone like freaking out and grabbing like literally baskets full of toilet paper and meat? He goes, I don't know. So what happened was the media, etc., put people in this absolute panic that was like there was no reason for it. It really was ridiculous. And what really happened was when people were walking into the grocery stores and other stores during this period of time, that electrical energy of shock, it snapped into them when they went into this group of people, and boom, they basically got infected with the panic. Okay. So for the first time in my life, everything that I had been taught and learned, all of a sudden I was having a visceral, physical, and visual experience of it going, oh, this is what they've been saying this whole time. Like about 20 plus 25 years before that, again, it was this big training in Hawaii. They were explaining to us back then, like, hey, here's what's going to happen. You know, they have to keep society in a state of fear and confusion and distraction. Okay, that's a huge part of what's going on is distraction. And because it's like an electrical grid around the entire planet, and it'll keep people in this state of fear. It'll keep that artery narrow, and it'll keep your brain in a very narrow focus so you can't see what's going on, and thus they can continue doing what they've been doing for hundreds, if not thousands of years. So everything, you know, when they say, like, you know how they have like prayer day around the world, or they have meditation day where they want everyone in a certain city or metropolis, like they want everyone or as many people as possible because it'll change the consciousness or it'll do the healing, etc. I don't know, you know, come on, whatever, man. Even though I'd been meditating for decades, and when I had that experience, okay, here's the funny thing. Even though it put me in a state of fear, it was fascinating because I was like, wait, what's going on here? Like, wait, why is my body reacting this way? Like, people, I'm telling you, for a moment, a split second, I saw a grid of energy like squares or rectangles going all the way across through the store, down the aisles, wrapping around the back. It was like, whoa, what the I saw it for like maybe half a second, maybe a little bit more. And I was like, wait, what the hell is this? And then I felt it. And I was like, what? And I looked around, and it was absolute confirmation for me, like, oh, this is what they've been trying to say. Like, our energy, we affect each other because we are in this electrical grid. Now, watch this. The opposite can be true also, and that's what this battle is really, really about. Okay? Here's what you can do. You can meditate. You can do deep breathing. In fact, you know, let me slow down. I'll give you a list in a second. So the number one goal is to get you to open up that artery, okay? Now let's get back to the word fear and the word love, okay? So the way you open the artery is one word, the word love. You could literally just say the word love, 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 love over and over and over, and slowly that artery will open up. If you say the word love, like take a deep breath once in a while and say love, love, love over and over, that artery will begin to open up. So the way you close it is any state of fear. The way you open it is any state of love. Now, one of the things that I began to understand in my mid-20s and on is every single thing you learn, everything from math to science to physics to communication to linguistics to energy healing, everything comes down to some core, basic, ultra simple patterns. Like the pattern of all patterns, this is the pattern of everything, is internal and external. So you know the yin and yang symbol? A lot of people think it spins in one direction. No, it's like breathing in and out. It goes back and forth, back and forth. It's like breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. That's what that symbol is about. That's why you have a left brain and a right brain. So when you talk out, and then you need to open up to receive their communication. So now it's going in, now it's going out. Now it's going in, now it's going out. Even sex is like this. So breathing is like this. Eating is like this. Your kitchen sink is like this. Water goes out, water goes in. Water goes out, water goes in. Okay, you can go to your kitchen sink, turn it on. The energy comes out of the water, of I can't think of the spout, whatever. And then it goes down through the sink into the, man, I'm really drawing into the, not the gutter, but into the sewer system, okay? And then it goes out. All right. Do you guys know what the Western mind means? So when they say the Western mind versus the Eastern mind, the Western mind is the external brain. It's the left brain. The Eastern mind is the internal brain. So whenever you talk about Eastern beauty, you know, the Orient and how the women are, is they're very internal. The culture is internal. Even the men, they tend to be very quiet and they tend to listen. They tend to pay attention to the symbolic way, okay? Now, I don't want to go too in depth, but the Western mind is the left external. So the Western culture is out of balance. And that's one of the main problems, is we push and we push and we push and we never breathe in. This is why a lot of okay, all right. When I was in Hawaii, one of the things that they would call white people was haoles. Okay, so that word is two words in one. Haole is hold on, let me spell it, hold on. Sorry, my brain's really not functioning right now. So Haole, it's ha, which is ha, breathing, and then ole, O-L-E. Ha means breath, ole means without. It literally means without breath. So one day, a neighbor had walked by with a couple friends. Hey, what's up, Mike? So, hey, what's going on? Hey, this is so-and-so, so-and-so. And I looked at this girl and go, oh, you're Hawaiian. She goes, yeah. And so she goes, you know anything about the islands? I'm like, oh, yeah, well, I actually studied there quite a bit. And she goes, well, what do you mean? I go, well, I studied Huna. And she goes, Huna, what's that? And I'm like, are you from Hawaii or were you born on the mainland? She goes, no, I'm from Hawaii. I was born and raised there, went to high school and everything. I was like, oh. Because she didn't know what Huna was, which was kind of shocking. Kind of sad, actually. So what happened when I was in Hawaii, they taught us the word haole, and they go that, you know, essentially that people refer that to meaning white man or white people, okay? And here's why. When the white man got to the island, you know, 100 plus years ago, I don't remember, it was 150, 200 years ago, but a long time ago, is the Hawaiians would like look at white people and they didn't understand how we could talk, and they didn't understand why we weren't passing out and falling over, because the white man talks like this and takes really short breaths, and you know, and we never breathe in. Now this is the way a Hawaiian would talk. They'll do this. First they'll breathe in, they'll be like, well, you know, blah, 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 blah. And they literally speak on the breath as I'm doing right now. So right now I've got a lungs full of oxygen and I'm talking what's called talking on the breath. And when you're done, you breathe out and you breathe in. And then you begin to speak again. So when you talk to Hawaiians, they generally talk blah, 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 and they breathe out and they breathe in. They say, well, you know, brother. And it's everything, the vowels are elongated, brother, versus brother. So the white man, the left brain is very digital. It's like a digital clock, click, 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 click. Whereas the right brain is like the sweeping clock, where you got the second hand sweeping around versus the click, 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 click where it's 1 second, 2, 3, in the digital visual part of it, right? So most white people speak very fast, very digitally, and they don't breathe deeply. They just take, and it's called like, it's like, this is why most Western people, their solar plexus, their diaphragm muscle is very tight, because they don't breathe deep. They don't let their gut hang out and relax and take really deep, elongated breaths and then speak with elongated vowels versus very short, digital, choppy language, chop, chop, right? It's very digital. It's kind of like harsh. It's bang, bang, bang. And what happens is your gut is tight, your chest is tight, and you breathe very up, what's called high and tight. Now I got my hand just below my throat because we take really short, fast, upper breaths like that. And it causes you to basically hyperventilate, okay? And it closes you off from your right brain. So what happened was Hawaiians they looked at white people like we didn't have a spirit. They were like, they looked at us like, whoa, what the hell's wrong with these people? They don't breathe. Like how do they work, right? So I'm talking to this Hawaiian girl. She was about 26. I was probably like 34 or something like that. And I looked at her, I go, oh, I understand. Because she said she didn't know who it was. I go, oh, you're a haole. And she got offended. She goes, no, I'm not, brother. You a haole. I go, I'm not a haole. Trust me. She goes, no, you are. I go, you don't even know what haole means. She goes, what? I go, haole doesn't mean white man. Haole means anybody that doesn't breathe, that they are without breath. They don't take deep breaths before they talk. And she's like, what are you talking about? I go, are you in touch with your mother? She goes, yeah. I go, do you have your mother in your cell phone? She goes, yeah. I go, call your mother. And when she answers the phone, tell her you're talking to this white boy. And tell her that I called you a haole, that I said that you're a haole. And ask her if this is true. So she calls her mom. She goes, Mom, I'm talking to this white boy, and he says that I'm a haole, and he says, and he wants me to ask you to see if it's true. And I could hear the mother laughing. She goes, yeah, he's right. He knows. He goes, he knows. He studied Huna. And she goes, what's Huna? She goes, oh, honey, you're a haole. And she goes, no, I'm not, Mom. And she goes, yes, you're a haole. He's right. To say the least, this shocked her, okay? Because as most people, she thought it just means white person. It does not mean white person. Anybody, even a Hawaiian, can be a haole, okay? So what is my point of talking about this? Your breath is one of the most powerful ways to open up. So we're talking about love and we're talking about fear, okay? So the way you close the artery or narrow it technically is by not breathing, is by being in a state of panic, hyperventilating breaths, real quick breaths and talking, not, and then see, some people breathe in and then breathe out and then talk without breath, okay? So the real goal is this, that, okay, I'm gonna try to slow down because I want you to get this very simple pattern. The demonic narcissists are doing everything they can to scare you. And a lot of it really, it's just bullshit. It's not even real. In fact, I'm going to make a video that will explain to you all these little things they do to keep you in a constant state of fear. So here's the deal. The narcissist, the demonic entities want to keep you in a state of fear so you can't see who's controlling what's going on, because there's not a lot of them. They are not the majority by any means, okay? They're more than 7%. They try to say they're more than 7%. But they're still not the majority. They're maybe 12, 15% of the population. I don't think they're even that much. Somewhere around there. And so they know that if we wake up, we're going to take the power back. And that's what they're absolutely terrified of. So right now they're working overtime and starting wars and, talking about wars and threats and everything. All the fires and all the stuff that they're creating. So if you don't think they have been creating, so in my area, in Napa and Sonoma, the fires that went on here for 2 years, they literally caught a professor at Sonoma State University, They literally caught him starting fires during the Napa and Sonoma fires. Okay, him and a group of people. Australia, they caught different people in different areas of Australia starting fires. This is all public knowledge. It was on YouTube, it was on the news. So they're doing this stuff on purpose. So again, a long time ago, when I was around 21 years old, I was in Hawaii taking this 5-week training, and this is the first time I had heard this, and here's what it is. There's this energy grid around the planet, okay? And the way they control us is by keeping us in a state of fear. Now, here's the next thing that they taught us. There's two emotions that, see, you think there's a bunch of emotions. No, there's only two emotions. Now, I remember when I first heard this, I kind of revolted in my chair looking at the train like, what the hell are you talking about? Every emotion falls under one of these two emotions. So get a pen and paper right now. Pause this right now. Get a pen and paper. I'll actually wait a few seconds. And what I want you to do on the upper left side, I want you to write the word fear. And on the upper right, I want you to write the word love, kind of a little bit larger than normal. And then put an underline each of them, okay? To have them separate, because you're going to write a list of words under each. So one on the left side, one on the right side, okay? So I'm going to give you a couple words. And you decide where you think those words go under fear or under love, okay? Anxiety, panic, confusion, doubt, uncertainty, stress, frustration, all right? Peace, harmony, relaxation, calm, emotionally grounded, joy, happiness, all right? So the first group of words obviously belong under the word fear. All of those words are a fear state. All of the other words, happiness, joy, peace, calm, relaxation, those are all love states, emotional states of love, okay? So it's really simple. What you want to do is you want to create states of love, all right? So number one, breathing deep. Okay, I've got a couple of deep breathing videos on here, and so I don't know, maybe I'll put a link in the bottom here. Alright, so here's how simple it is. A narcissist is trying to close the artery, and all they have to do is get you into any state of fear. Now, so let's look at gaslighting. What does it do? It confuses you. Well, where does confusion go under? Yep, under fear. It also puts doubt in your mind. Well, where does doubt go under? Love or fear? Obviously fear. All right, so you got confusion, doubt, fear, frustration, stress. All of that goes into fear, so that narrows the artery. So that, again, it's a simple pattern. All we're doing is opening the artery. That's all we want to do. It's that simple. All right, so I got a list of things that you can do here, okay? All right. So you can write it down if you want. So number one, there, you know, the music hurts on YouTube. You can go on there and, like, you know, some are for money, some are for relaxation, some are for clarity. Find one that just really relaxes you and you're just like, oh, you just really zone out, man. And listen to it for at least 10 minutes or 15 minutes and do some deep breathing in your nose and hold it for about 10 seconds or something. Blow it out like that, okay? You can also listen to music that makes you cry. Like, you can find a song that's emotional, play it over and over and over until you cry and you have a release. Here's another one. Salt baths. And I'm going to give you, like, what I use. I like to use sea salt. You don't have to. You can use regular salt or Epsom salt, okay? Epsom salt, by the way, has magnesium. By the way, adding magnesium to your diet is very, very important. It's really good for you. This is the exact brand that I use, okay, Celery. So for me, magnesium glycinate works really well in relaxing me, okay? Epsom salt baths will help you to relax too, because it has magnesium and it soaks through your skin, okay? Green leafy vegetables, salads, etc., okay? They have magnesium. Another one is potassium, so eating a banana once a day, okay? Maybe 2 bananas if you want. Very good for you. Drinking plenty of water, eating extra protein is very good for you. It helps your body to relax, your muscles relax. All of this stuff helps you to relax, okay? Stretching for at least 20 minutes or longer. If you do 20 minutes, I would do it at least twice a day, okay? Even if you stretch for longer than that, I would stretch again once or twice for 10 minutes out of the day, okay? Stretching is really, really good for you. Again, the goal is to relax. Obviously, meditation, it really is what opens that artery, okay? Getting into quiet space. What I will generally do is, so I do a sea salt bath. So I just get about 2, 3, 4 cups of sea salt, put it in hot water, warm water, in the warm bath, and then I'll put about 6 to 8 drops of lavender oil, and then I'll put some rubbing alcohol, just about half a bottle, you know, about, I don't know, would that be 2 cups worth, I guess, something like that. Not a lot. You can put more if you like. And I turn the lights off and I light 1 or 2 candles and I just relax for about 10 minutes or so, 15. And then what I'll do is I'll do deep breathing off and on while I'm taking the the warm salt bath to really relax. So for me, I like salt water, but sometimes I do Epsom salt because, man, that really relaxes you. So then when I'll be doing the deep breathing off and on, and then what I'll do is I will get out and I'll start to stretch for about 15-20 minutes, okay? And then I'll do my deep breathing technique, and then I'll meditate for about 30-40 minutes, sometimes an hour. In the past, I literally would meditate a minimum of 2 hours a day and then at least another hour at nighttime. And on weekends or days off, I would meditate up to 16 hours a day. I did that for, I did it for 12 years, but the last 2 years was when I really, it would be easily on Saturday, I'd meditate for 12 hours. Easily. And Sunday, probably 6 to 8 hours, sometimes 12 hours. I did my hot bath thing. I did the stretch. I would really stretch. I would stretch for 30, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. Man, I stretched out really deep. And then I'd do the deep breathing, and then I would meditate for hours upon hours. Now, number one, I didn't have a social life, which I didn't really care because, man, I was just I was going deep. Number two, I lost a lot of weight. It was very interesting to notice how I didn't like to eat meat anymore. I started eating a lot more fruit, a lot more vegetables. So the overall message for this entire video is one thing. All we have to do is spread love. We have to open that artery, okay? So that's really what it's all about. And the narcissist are afraid that you're going to find out. Because when you really learn to open up, when you get closed back down, you'll hate it. You'll do anything to get out of that place. Because once you find your mental, emotional freedom, you will never go back to that prison. So that's it. The real goal is to open up the artery. That's what everything is about. Huna talked about it. Jesus talks about it. The Bible. Now, they may not say that artery, but that's what they're talking about. Alright guys, this video kind of went a lot longer than I thought. What I'm going to do is make a separate video on things you can do to open up. Alright, God bless you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember, click subscribe, click that like button, make a comment if you'd like. And again, if you'd like to make a donation, and again, it's only if you want to make a donation, okay? There's a link right there in the description box right below this video. It's a PayPal link, so just click that and you can donate as a friend or donation or however you want to do it, alright? Alright, thank you guys. God bless you, and again, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.